bought it at 6,800, sold it at 9,800, so 68, 78, 88, 98, $3,000 profit. I mean, I'm talking real numbers right now. It's a $3,000 profit margin. Made that in 4 to 5 days. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Karam speaking with you, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about how to get started in real estate. Now, this video is going to be real chill, real laid back and relaxing. I'm just going to talk from the top of my head and give you my thoughts. I'm going to share with you how I started real estate, how I got involved in it, and how you can too. So let me quickly grab my seat on the stairs and tell you exactly how I really got involved in it. So at the age of 12 years old, I began buying and selling electronics, just really anything I can get my hands on. I remember buying the Zune HD. I don't know if y'all remember the Zune HD. I think it was like 64 gigabyte. It was purple. I bought it for $60 and I sold it for $280. This was like years ago. And that was like the biggest flip I did. It was like $220 profit margin. And I was real young. I think I was like 13 at the time, 14 probably. But I started doing all this at the age of 12 years old. Okay, so I began doing that. Now at the age of 15 years old, I became 15, I got my permit and I was like, I want to get myself a car. I want to buy myself something that I can drive, that I enjoy, that I like to drive around every single day in. So I started to think and I was like, what's a car that I like to get? So I ended up buying an Infiniti G35 Coupe, the 2-door Infiniti Coupe. And I really liked it because it was fast, it was sporty, it was luxurious at the time. This was at 15, so this was years ago as well. And it was just something I was like, hey, this is what I really like, let me get it. I ended up buying that Infiniti Coupe. Now when I bought the car, I didn't intend to sell it or anything, but I got it at such a good price. I'm talking, I paid for it, I think it was like $6,800, and that car itself was worth like around $10,000. So what I did is I bought the car and then I went home and I was like, let me just list this online. So I went and I listed it online for I think $9,800, and I basically just let it go. Bought the car to keep it for myself. I was 15 years old. I got my permit. No, not my permit. Yeah, I got my permit and then I got my license probably 6 months after that. So when I was like 15 and a half, I bought this. And I listed it online, $9,800. And at that time, I had it for around 4 or 5 days. And then I boarded a flight to Australia. As soon as the plane started to board people, I was given my passport so they can scan it and my ticket. And then as soon as that happened, I get a phone call. It was crazy, I still remember it. And that phone call was someone who was interested. He goes, man, I really like this vehicle. I'm driving 2 hours out to see it. Can you set something up? Quickly call my brother. My brother quickly confirms on his end that he'll be able to meet him. I call the buyer. I tell him, hey, call my brother, set something up with him. And then I board the flight to Australia. The flight to Australia, you know, I live in Texas. So to fly to Australia was like a 15, 16 hour flight. So it was basically a 2-day trip with the stops and whatnot. So 2 days later, I reach Australia. I call my brother and he goes, the car is sold. And I was like, oh my God. I really didn't want to sell the car. Like, I loved it so much. I drove it for a couple days. I really enjoyed it. And I didn't really get the most benefit or the enjoyment out of it. So when he told me it was sold, number one, I was happy. But most importantly, number two, I was like, I just bought this car. I wanted to keep it. And now I ended up selling it. And that's how really everything started. You know, I always liked real estate and I always loved it. But I was wondering to myself, how can I scale to the next level? Bought, you know, electronics, I bought phones and tablets and whatever I can get my hands on. I bought that and sold it. The profit margins were in the thousands. There were like a couple hundred here and there. And then I started buying cars. So the first car I bought was the Infiniti G35 Coupe. Bought it at 6,800, sold it at 9,800. So 68, 78, 88, 98. $3,000 profit. I mean, I'm talking real numbers right now. It's a $3,000 profit margin. Made that in 4 to 5 days. The selling process, I mean, I didn't even sell it. I had my brother sell it for me. And so that happened. After that, I started to think and I was like, this is crazy. There's so much potential in this. Like, I just made $3,000 in a couple of days. What am I doing? So I had from 6,800, now I basically had 9,800, almost $10,000. And I came back from Australia 2 weeks later and I started to get in that business of buying and selling cars. And then those were profit margins of thousands of dollars. I mean, you can make 200 bucks, 500 bucks. You can make even 4K on a car flip. But as I did that more and more, I bought 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 cars. I just started to keep buying and selling, buying and selling. And after I did that for a while, I was like, this is cool, but how can I expand? How can I scale, get to the next level? And I didn't like cars too much because you have to always have two people, someone to take you, and if you like it, you buy it, you come back, so you have to drive that car back. If it has a problem, you gotta take it to the mechanic shop, you have to have a second person to follow you and take you from there. So I didn't really like that about buying and selling cars. So then, after that, I was like, after selling so many cars, I was like, how can I take this to the next level? Boom, real estate hit me in my head. But I was like, I was 17 years old. I couldn't get into real estate because I can't even sign papers yet. I wasn't even 18 years old. So I was like, how am I gonna be able to get myself involved in real estate? I was 17 and I was like, I can't really do much right now. I mean, I can work around it, but I was like, look, let me keep on flipping cars, build my money up, and then when I hit 18 years old, I can actually get involved in it. So months passed and then I hit 18 years old, had a lot of research done before that as well in real estate, and then that was my opportunity to get in. So when that happened, I was like, okay, now I can get into real estate. Now, how the heck do I start? Where do I go? What do I do? How do I do it? When do I do it? And it was just a bunch of confusion that came to my mind because, remember, I had no mentor. Remember, my parents don't do real estate. Remember, there's nobody in my life that actually does it. So how am I gonna learn it? How am I gonna get involved in it? So now that's the question that you're probably in right now. Right now you're asking yourself, how can you start? How can you begin? What can you do? So now here, I told you my story, but now I'm gonna tell you how you can start and exactly how I started. All right, so how did I start and how did I get involved in it? At this point, I said I'm gonna get into real estate. You need money. You need to know how to do it first of all. But then there came a question to my mind of what part of real estate do I want to enter? So number one, my friends, listen. What do you want to do in real estate? Do you want to do residential? Houses. You want to go buy houses and sell houses. Number two, do you want to do commercial? You want to go do businesses, commercial lands and lots. Number three, do you want to do house developments where you're out there building neighborhoods on acres of land? Do you want to become a realtor? Do you want to become a broker? What part of real estate do you want to enter? What a realtor does is they buy houses for the people who are interested in buying a new home, and they sell houses for people who want to move out. What a broker does is he basically has many real estate agents under him or her, realtors, and he really manages the office, and he can also buy and sell houses himself. Buy and sell for the customers, of course, and if he wants on his own. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what part of real estate do you want to enter? Me personally, what part did I enter? I entered residential. Now I'm working on residential. I'm trying to master residential. I'm trying to learn as much as I can in this specific field because that's what I like and that's what I want to do. Now what I do is I buy houses and I sell houses. Probably like, how in the world do you buy and sell houses? How much money do you have? How much money have you saved? How much money have you made? There is the trick, and here is what I'm going to share with you. Now you, remember, look, I need to get up and switch my position for this one. This one's powerful. People always make money a problem where, I don't have this money so I can't do this. Oh, I can't do this business because I need this much capital. I need $300,000 to start this business. How am I going to do it? I need $5 million to do this house, this neighborhood development. How am I going to do it? People make money a problem. But what I want all of you to understand is this. There is so many people out there, hear me out, so many people out there who have millions and millions of dollars, who are looking for you, for a hustler, for someone who can take that money from them, who can work with that money, and who can give them yearly returns on that money, an ROI, return on investment, for the money that they have. So you're here, you're telling me that you need to get into real estate and you want to do a neighborhood development and you have mastered it, you understand it, you know so much about it. Or you found an apartment complex that has great returns, it's a great flip where you're going to buy it, you're going to renovate it, you're going to fully occupy it in 6 months, and then you're going to sell it for 2 times the amount you paid for it, right? You have this opportunity in front of you and you're wondering how can you do it when you're so broke you don't have a dollar to your name. Now, how do you do that? It's simple, my friends. You find investors. So that's exactly what I did. I found investors. Now you're probably like, man, how am I gonna find investors? How am I gonna know that this person is gonna know about me? How is this person gonna trust me and whatnot? Look, if you know what you're talking about, if you know what you're doing, if you're able to sell your words and vision to that investor, you locked him in. It's that easy. When I began real estate, this is exactly what I did. I went to an investor. This investor knows me, but this investor doesn't know that I do real estate. I never did anything with real estate. Remember, I never did anything with real estate. I was 18 years old and I basically had zero knowledge on it, zero actual experience. I knew about it because I read and I researched, but actual experience of doing it, I didn't have. Went to this investor, proposed to him the idea of buying houses and selling houses. The investor basically gave me the money believing in what I sold to him, the vision. I sold to him the potential that he can get, the returns he can get, the relaxation that he'll have. He won't have anything to do with it. I will be the one doing all the work. He's a silent investor partner who just makes money from the houses I flip. Didn't even ask me how many houses have I done. Didn't even ask me what's my experience. He just saw the vision that I sold to him and he went all in with it. This investor tried one house with me. He saw the returns on the one house and he kept on going from there. So that's how I did it. That's exactly how I did it. 18 years old, I found an investor. That investor, I sold him the vision, and then basically that's how I got the capital to get into it and start taking it to the next level. Now you're probably like, how do I find this investor? There's a lot of things you should do. The first and most important one though is in your circle, look for the investor. Don't go out there into the streets trying to find one. First start with your circle. You will know people. Your family will know people. Your friends will know people. Maybe your friend's dad has money just sitting and he's waiting to invest. Don't judge people by how they look or how they dress or what they say or what they do. Don't judge them like that. I've seen people that you would least expect it have like $10 million in their bank account. So don't start with judging people. So you have to start with your inner circle, people you know, see who has money, see who's interested in investing, and then basically go from there. That's what you have to do. So that's exactly how I started, guys. I basically went to investors, sold them the vision, sold them with words of what I can do, what they can see in return, and I closed the deal like that. So number one, get a niche market where you can put all your focus towards and you can build yourself in it. And then go sell your vision to the investors, to the people who have money, but they're looking for hustlers like you. That's one way. Or you can have capital yourself, or you can have someone who you know around you who wants to spend money on investments in real estate. You can also sell to them your vision and whatnot. But capital is the most important thing. When you're buying and selling residential, by the way, this is just like a little tip. When you're buying and selling residential homes, you don't want to get bank loans, because the one issue with that is you can't do flips with it. Right? Whenever you buy a house on a bank loan, you can only keep that house. So that's another route you can do, by the way. You can buy houses from the banks and then basically rent them out, pay the mortgage of, let's say, $1,100 with property tax and with insurance, and then you have, let's say, $400 left in your pocket per month because you rent the house for $1,500 a month. You can do that route, but basically you can't do the flipping. And what I personally love is to buy the house and sell the house quick. We're young right now, we're energetic, we have hustle in us, we have drive in us, and I feel like that's just way too passive to buy houses from the banks and basically pay the mortgage off and slowly basically make some money here and there. You can do that. It's a route you can take. Some people love it, some people do it, but if you're able to first go for the route of getting houses paid by investors and keep on rotating that and build your wealth, that's also a smart route to take. But remember, there's no wrong or right answer in this situation and in this scenario that I'm telling you. That's number one, guys, is figure out what part of real estate you want to get into. And this is exactly how I started. I found exactly where I want to enter, what I want to do, and then I just took it from there. So that's a lot of talking. So what I'm going to do is take a step back real quick and make it in a quick sentence for you. Number one, find what part of real estate you want to enter. There's a lot of parts of it: residential, commercial, development, whatever it is that you want to do in real estate, find what that is. Number two, whatever that you chose, go find either an investor or go find someone who can kind of guide you and help you with it. If you want to be a realtor, it's super easy to go find someone who's a realtor that you can be an assistant for, work for free for, learn exactly how they do it, and then become the top realtor in the area or even in the metroplex or whatever it may be. So whatever it is that you want to enter, find it and then figure out the next step. If it's residential, if it's commercial, then you can find investors who can help you in that to take it to the next level. Because remember, if you want to do those bigger things, it's always good to have investors who can give you the cash for it, because it helps you to do bigger profit margins. That helps you to get things simpler and quicker instead of having to wait for these banks and waiting for credit and waiting for all that. Because especially if you're young, you don't have any credit, you haven't built any of those, right? So getting investors makes your life a lot easier. Just know how to sell that vision. All right, guys, I basically kind of gave you, hopefully that helped you out with giving you how can you get started in real estate. I hope that me sharing my story with you was something that inspired you, and not only inspired you but allowed you to realize that someone that was 18 years old was able to do it, then you can too. I'm not special, I'm not different, I'm exactly like you, and I'm actually at this point just trying to scale and get to the next level, which is doing neighborhood developments and basically finding, let's say 6-7 acres of land, plots of land, and then sectioning it off, doing the infrastructure, and now building homes on top of it. That's something that I love. You know why? Every single person needs a roof over their head. No matter what condition the world is in, everybody needs a roof over their head. Everybody wants to buy houses. So that's something that's really never going to go away unless someone invents some technology where, I don't know, I mean, you have to have a roof over your head, right? Anyways, that's really what it is, guys and girls. That's how I got involved in real estate, and I personally believe that's how you can also begin. Take the steps that I just told you right now, very basic steps that I shared with you, and apply them with yourself. See what you want to do, see how you're going to do it, strategize, learn it before you try to go out there. Remember, having experience is good, but if you know how to talk it, then you can get to the next level, because the people will believe what you're selling them. And then the most important thing is deliver. If I sold to the investor the vision and didn't deliver and hand him those fat checks, he would not continue doing business with me, and he would not help me expand to what I'm trying to expand to. Told you guys, casual video, just me talking from the top of my head, just basically sharing with you what I've been through, what I've done, how I've done it, and how you can too. This video is basically how you can get started in real estate, how you can begin. I hope I got the points across to you, and I hope that this video benefited you. Remember, my friends, what I speak about on this channel is real estate, entrepreneurship, and personal development. If this video interested you, if this is something you like to hear about, then don't forget to please click that subscribe button. I plan to post so much more videos, and most importantly, remember, if you enjoyed this video, it helps me a lot and motivates me when you click that not the subscribe button, when you click that like button. When I look at that like button, I'm like, 15 people liked it, nice. 30 people liked it, nice. 60 people liked it, nice. They like this, then I keep producing and pumping out more content for you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you benefited from it, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.